facial retouch is probably one of the harder things to do in Photoshop because it has to be done somewhat slowly, a little more detail, because you want it to look very natural after you're done. If you take a look at this image, there's a number of things that need to be fixed. There's a cold sore, eyeglass glare, the light shine up there, and probably a few blemishes that want to be removed. I'll start off with this highlight shine up here. That's probably the easiest one to remove in this case, and you want to be working on an enlarged image, so you want to zoom in to make sure you're somewhat up close and personal. And if I go up here, if I use my healing brush for this one, so I want to choose my healing brush, which is under here someplace. Oops, here we go. Use a regular healing brush, and probably make a little bigger brush, and I'm going to sample an area right here as being a good, right about here. I'm going to do my sample point there. Just take a swipe across this like that, maybe another swipe. And if you work from the hairline away, then it will generally blend a little bit better, and that looks pretty good like that. And if I zoom out, that's probably sufficient. You might want to do a little bit of work. You could do something in this here, but we'll let that go for now like that. That looks real good. Well, actually, I'm going to do a sample point there and do one swipe across here. There, that helped. Now I've got a good blend. So the healing brush works good for that area. Healing brush will also work good for, you know, it's a little blemish or two right here. If I make a little smaller brush and actually just sample, click, and it's gone. There's another one right here. I'm going to sample here, click, and that's gone. So the healing brush will work good for those types of things. For the cold sore here, you could probably use the healing brush for a little bit of it. I could click alongside here. I could sample here and do something like this. Now, doing the part on the lip itself may be a bit more of a problem. We could try it here if I zoom in and use a smaller brush. And let's say I sample here once first of all and swipe it there. Maybe sample here. And actually it's going to do a fairly decent job. I'm sampling different places. Every time you see that cross here in my point there, let's sample here once and swipe across there a little more, and we'll sample there. And the only thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do a sample here. I'm going to just draw it along here, see if I can define that edge a little bit. That helped a little bit. And like this, and maybe here. And if I zoom out, that actually is probably pretty good. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch to the clone stamp now, right here. I'm going to use my default brushes, use a soft edge brush, set the opacity down, way down to, and using the clone stamp for retouch, you want to use your opacity down around 15 to 20%. I'm going to take a small brush here. This is just a little bit too dark right for me, so I'm going to sample right here and just start clicking across here. See, I sample a lighter area. I'm going to sample maybe over here, and I'll bring some in from this side too, kind of blend from both sides. I'm going to sample here and kind of define that edge of the lip there a little more yet. Sample here, back and forth, keep clicking a little bit. I'm not really dragging, I'm more like clicking. And I'm going to take this thing and do that, and that looks a lot better. If anything, what I should do is maybe, let's try and get rid of this area here a little more. I'm going to switch back to the healing brush and do a sample right there and just drag it across there once. Maybe sample here and drag it across there. That helped. There, getting that light area into there. The healing brush retains your texture. That's a nice thing about the healing brush, whereas the clone stamp gets things a little mushy looking. So that would be the facial blemishes. We'll start another video to get into the eyeglass glare a little bit and do just a little bit of that to show you the technique that should be used there.